Good morning, guys. Today is a one-day job, unfortunately. So we are nearly there now. We're like 6 minutes away, so perfect. But yeah, do you guys always call 811? People have asked me this. I do. I put in a ticket for every job I go to. The key here is on like Thumbtack and Angie, it's pretty easy. Angie actually gives you the address, which I really like. Thumbtack doesn't. They just give you like an area. So I always ask the customer as early as possible for their address and try to get that in. And then overly communicate everything. So explain to them about how you have to submit an 811 ticket and then you can get them on the schedule. That way they're more inclined to give you their address so that you can schedule them sooner, right? So I just overly communicate kind of the whole process and try to get their address ASAP. And as soon as I get their address, regardless of if they said yes to the job, I submit a ticket. You can always go in and cancel it. And that's kind of the key here. You want to get that ticket submitted as soon as possible. That way you're ready to go as soon as they are. The second thing to submitting tickets and scheduling is just know how the scheduling in your area works with marking utilities. So for me, if it's a weekend or a Monday, the earliest like start on date I can do is Thursday. Now what that means is I can technically schedule, if I want to really finagle it, for Wednesday afternoon. Because if I schedule it, let's just say I schedule first thing like 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. Thursday morning, well, they have to mark by 5 p.m. on Wednesday. So if they're marking by end of day Wednesday, then that means I can technically schedule them for Wednesday afternoon. If I really want to roll the dice, I could schedule them for like 3 to 4 p.m. But technically, I think they have until 5 p.m. But sometimes I like to give people a window as well. Like, oh, I'll arrive between 3 to 5 or 4 to 5, right? And then that way, you can kind of wait and see, have they marked? Right? You can check the system, see if they've marked, and then arrive earlier or later, whatever it is. But now you're able to schedule somebody technically a day earlier than if you just went based on the exact start date and time. As long as they've marked, you're good to go. So that's kind of how I look at it. Now it's different in every area. So for example, in Maryland, it would be Thursday would be the earliest start on date. If I do actually go into DC, which I haven't done yet, but I do know that their system,
1 mile, turn right.
Thank you, Waze. The earliest start on time or date and time would be Friday because they have an extra day of lead time in their system. So just understand your area, ask for the customer address as soon as possible, and overly communicate everything, because I have also run into issues where I have submitted a ticket, I've scheduled them for like 3 or 4 days out, and then what happens, Miss Utility or Utiliquest or whatever it is puts in a 48-hour delay. So they have an extra 48 hours to mark, and yeah, it causes a little bit of complications. But as long as you've been up front, and I do try to explain to the customer that that can happen, they're usually more than understanding, right? Like they don't want something catastrophic to happen on their property, and then they know that you're responsible, you're doing things correctly, you're covered by insurance, all that jazz. So what I would say is just overly communicate, explain that that could happen up front. It doesn't happen that often. It's happened on 1 or 2 of my tickets out of the however many I've had so far, so it's really not that much. So yeah, just overly communicate, ask for address as soon as possible, and understand how the scheduling in your area works. That way you can finesse the system is what I should say. Finesse the system and get people scheduled as quickly and efficiently as possible. The majority of my work right now has been residential, which is kind of the opposite of what I went into this whole endeavor thinking. Anyways, let's go grind that stump. those are definitely my favorite. We were in and out of there, pulled in at 8:15, pulled out at 9. So including loading and unloading, 45 minutes total. Honestly, we're driving for longer than that. It's about 45 minutes each way. But yeah, when you have the right machine for the job, it makes it super easy, and access there, super simple. It's right in the front yard, like 10 feet off the sidewalk, barely a curb. Yeah, I mean, it really couldn't have been easier. Didn't have to reposition the machine at all, so it makes it super simple. Laid down a tarp, easy cleanup, raked it back in. So yeah, it was, you know, it was one of those jobs that you love to get. You love to get. Made today nice and simple. So I'm gonna go home. Honestly, I have to take care of some yard work at my house. Gotta swap out a few teeth because I do have a large job with some fresh, large stumps on Thursday. So yeah, those teeth really got annihilated. Over the weekend and the end of last week, just with rocks, and had obviously a lot of jobs last week. So yeah, was waiting. I knew this was a smaller stump, so it shouldn't be a problem even with those teeth. But yeah, I'm gonna swap out a couple of the lead teeth. I think one or two of the side teeth or pocket teeth, whatever they're called, might have chipped even last week. So yeah, gonna do a couple of replacements there. We built a what's it called? A plywood trifold barrier. We got 8 hinges, got an 8-foot by 4-foot plywood board, made 2 cuts and put the hinges on it. Works like a charm. Now it is a little heavy. The reason we did that is because over the weekend we hit the center section of our trifold barrier and really jacked it up. And those trifold barriers are just crazy expensive. Now they're nice and light, they're mesh so you can see through them, which is great. But I mean, spending, I think they were like $250 on Amazon. So I made one out of plywood for like, I don't know, less than $50. And I figure I can always cut out the middle and probably like staple mesh onto it or something just to do some weight savings. But for now, we're gonna leave it as is. Might as well get the workout, right? So we're gonna head home and make some cold calls. But that's really gonna be it for this video. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on 811. Are you calling for everything? Are you not calling for some stuff? Yeah. Anyways, I think that's gonna be it. So pretty happy with the job. Honestly, wish we had more lined up for the day, but even though we don't, it is what it is. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you have any questions, but yeah, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, well, pressure washed. Gotta get some stuff that wrapped around the wheel there, and then grease it, and should be good to go for no jobs tomorrow, jobs the next day.